Episode 2, The Flower Moon. On visibility, becoming, and the shape of things. I speak this letter under the full moon, not to persuade, not to perform, but to notice. I do not offer certainty. I offer attention. I speak from exile, not as metaphor, but as condition. May this letter be received by those learning how to remain human while becoming visible again. Letter from exile. Dear you, if the pink moon signaled emergence, fragile, uncertain, careful, then the flower moon asks something different. Not whether we will grow, but what begins to take shape once growth can no longer remain entirely hidden. Because eventually, what survives underground presses toward visibility. The stem rises, the bud forms, the outline appears, and with visibility comes tension. I've been thinking about how difficult it is to become visible after exile. Not visibility as performance, not branding, not exposure for its own sake. I mean the quieter forms of visibility. Letting someone witness your tenderness, trusting a room enough to exhale, allowing your voice to take up space without apologizing for existing. These things sound small. They are not small. For those of us shaped by precarity, surveillance, displacement, or conditional belonging, visibility is never neutral. The body remembers. It remembers what it cost the last time it was seen clearly. And still, something continues trying to bloom. The flower moon reminds me that becoming visible is not the same thing as becoming available. This distinction matters deeply because the world often confuses visibility with access. If something becomes visible, the culture assumes it can consume it, study it, monetize it, flatten it into spectacle. But fugitivity teaches another way. The work of Fred Moten has been sitting with me again this month, especially this truth, that to remain human under systems of capture requires protecting something interior. Not secrecy born from shame, but opacity as dignity. The right not to be fully known by systems that have not earned intimacy. And perhaps this is where I feel closest to Gloria Anzaldúa right now. She understood that life in the borderlands requires constant negotiation. How much do I reveal? How much do I withhold? How do I remain open without abandoning myself? These are spiritual questions, not branding questions, not productivity questions, questions of survival. And yet, I do not want survival to become the only story, because there are moments now, small and fleeting, where I sense something beyond mere endurance, a softening, a cautious joy. The poet Ross Gay writes as someone who understands that delight is not naivete, it is practice, a discipline noticing of what has not yet been destroyed. And so lately, I have been trying to notice what is blooming despite everything. Tomatoes beginning to push through soil, someone laughing too loudly in public, the smell of coffee before dawn, a friend texting just to ask if you made it home safely. These gestures do not erase collapse, but they interrupt its totality. And Baldwin. James Baldwin remains close, because Baldwin understood that becoming visible in this country often carries consequence. To tell the truth visibly is dangerous, but Baldwin also knew that hiding from the truth corrodes the spirit. So perhaps the question is not, will we become visible? Perhaps the question is, how do we become visible without surrendering ourselves to spectacle? This month, I have no final answer, only this. Something is taking shape, slowly, carefully, and maybe wisdom means allowing the shape to emerge before rushing to define it. Here is what the moon illuminated for me: that visibility requires discernment, that not every witness is safe, that not every audience is community. I notice how quickly I still move toward explanation, toward proving my humanity, my usefulness, my coherence. And this month, I am practicing something else: visibility without performance, presence without self-erasure. I am learning what I do not owe full access in order to be worthy of love. Maybe becoming visible is not about being seen by everyone. Maybe it is about being recognized by the right people. This letter is complete. I release it back into the dark. Until the next full moon, may you honor what is taking shape, even if it remains unfinished, even if it asks for patience, even if it needs protection. Move carefully. Bloom without surrender.